Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have some breaking news, and that is Secretary of Defense / Secretary of War Pete Hegseth is recalling top military leaders from around the globe for a situation that is not quite clear, but plenty of alarm sirens are going off. There's a bit of panic going across social media and in the news. We do not know what is going on. This is an unprecedented move from Secretary of War Pete Hegseth as he recalls everybody, all the big-time generals from around the globe are being scrambled and rushed back to a secure location in Virginia. And I'm a little troubled by this, and I'm sure many of you are. This is a signal that something major could be coming down the pipeline. You would not do this if there was not something major going on. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to give you some theories about what could possibly be going on right now. I can't wait to hear your theories. But before we get started, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. It is totally free, cost you nothing. Huge boost to the channel. So please do that for me. Go ahead and comment with your thoughts below. What do you think this move from Hegseth is about? What do you think is actually happening compared to what could be floating around social media out there? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that notification bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing of the best videos on YouTube. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me online. My DMs are totally open. Send me any information you have there. Or if you just want to reach out and say hello, that's totally cool too. I'm very responsive, very receptive. And like I said, DMs are totally open. So please do reach out. Now let's get into it. We have a lot of issues around the world right now. We've got Venezuela, which appears to be maybe the most pressing immediately for America. We've got the drug cartels, which are kind of one in the same, right? With Venezuela, we're blowing up drug cartel boats. We've got an armada off the coast of Venezuela. Our JSOC ghost ship is now in the region. We've got stealth fighters, but we've also got the Middle East on fire. We've got Iran potentially secretly trying to plan another war. We've got Chinese aggression. There's fears over China and Taiwan. Russia is in Ukraine and continuing to fight. Russia is flying fighter jets into NATO territory. They're sending drones into NATO territory. It just never stops with the issues around the globe. So we have a ton of different things, ton of different moving pieces, ton of different chess moves underway, if you will. We're all trying to dissect this, and we're all trying to see where is the next big piece on the board going to be moved. Is it going to be moved NATO against Russia? Is it going to be Venezuela against the United States? Will we be launching military action against Venezuela? These are all the questions people are asking. Well, people got all fired up. I'm filming this on September 25th. This was published by the Washington Post. It says Hegseth orders rare urgent meeting of hundreds of generals and admirals. The Pentagon has summoned military officials from around the world for a gathering in Virginia. Even top generals and their staffs don't know the reason for the meeting. It says right here, Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth has ordered hundreds of our top leaders in the military, hundreds of generals of the U.S. military's generals and admirals to gather on short notice and without a stated reason at a Marine Corps base in Virginia next week. I would imagine that's Quantico, sowing confusion and alarm after the Trump administration's firing of numerous senior leaders. Quantico, for those of you who don't know, is a secure location. I've been to Quantico personally. I've been throughout that base. I went in 2018. I was at Quantico for an event. We spent the day there. We met with the base commander. Very interesting. But that is a secure location. There are secure comms facilities there, which we're going to get into here shortly. That is a no nonsense. That is a no nonsense area. That is a secure area. That is where the top leaders in the United States military are being rushed to meet, and they're not being told why. It says the highly unusual directive was sent to virtually all of the military's top commanders worldwide, according to more than a dozen people familiar with the matter. It was issued earlier this week against the backdrop of a potential government shutdown, and as Hegseth's overtly political moves have deepened the sense of distress among his opponents, who fear that he is erasing the DoD's status as a nonpartisan institution. Seems like a bit of a stretch there from the Washington Post. In a statement Thursday, Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell affirmed that Hegseth will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week, but offered no additional details. So they're keeping this top secret. They are keeping this top secret. No one in the public is supposed to know. Parnell, a senior advisor to the defense secretary, voiced no security concerns about the Washington Post reporting on the meeting scheduled for Tuesday in Quantico, Virginia. So like I said, they are going to Quantico. They're going to a secure base not far from Washington, D.C., not far from the Pentagon. You can be there in 40 minutes with good traffic easily. So they are scrambling and rushing these guys back to that secure facility at Quantico. It was not immediately clear whether the White House is involved with the meeting or if President Donald Trump also intends to be there. A spokesperson referred questions to the Pentagon. There are around 800 generals and admirals spread across the United States and dozens of other countries and time zones. Hegseth order, people familiar with the matter said, applies to all senior officers with the rank of brigadier general above or their Navy equivalent serving in command positions and their top enlisted advisors. Typically, each of these officers oversees hundreds or thousands of rank and file troops. It says top commanders in conflict zones and senior military leaders stationed throughout Europe and the Middle East and the Asia Pacific region are among those expected to attend Hegseth's meeting, said people familiar with the matter who spoke on the condition of anonymity as they were not authorized to discuss the issue. The order does not apply to top officials who hold staff positions. So there's some right here. I'm going to highlight. None of the people, I'll highlight this, none of the people who spoke with the Post could recall a defense secretary ever ordering so many of the military's leaders and admirals to assemble like this. Several said it raised security concerns. People are very concerned. They have no idea what it means, one person said. Others expressed frustration. And so that's pretty much what we know. They could have done this. The crazy part about this is we have secure communication systems. They could have done this all virtually. And instead of doing it virtually, hundreds of generals and admirals are being rushed back to the United States to meet in a secure location for a reason that is not publicly stated. One person was quoted out there as saying they believe they've never seen this in 3 decades. They believe possibly we are going to war. I'm going to pull this off the screen now. Listen, there's only a couple things I think could be happening here. Let's start with the less serious of the two. The less serious of the two is that Hegseth is gathering all the top military brass to either give some kind of line in the sand speech about here's what we're going to do, and if you can't do it, you're fired. Very possible that could be happening. We've seen military leaders get fired in the past. I'm not ruling that out. But again, you could do that over secure communication systems. You wouldn't even need a secure communication system to do that. You could just pick up the phone wherever they are and relieve them of the command and fire them. It would not require hundreds of our most senior military officials to leave the Pacific, leave the Middle East, leave Africa if they're there, leave Europe, leave South America. They are leaving everywhere in the globe where we have multiple hotspots right now. Asia, Europe, South America, they are leaving and they are coming back on very short notice. They're not being told why, and they are being taken to a secure facility, a secure base, I should say. I don't know if they'll all be in one building, quite possible. That leads me to option number 2. Option number 2 is a bit scarier, and that is the United States might be on the brink of war. We might be on the brink of major military action in Venezuela, or perhaps they worry China might be closer to invading Taiwan than we think. And that would justify bringing everyone back. Let's take China, for example. China, highly advanced technologically. They are rapidly expanding their military capabilities. If they have somehow hacked our secure comms lines, and I'm not saying they have, then you could not give this information out that way. It would have to be done face to face. You could not let our people know we know China's coming, because then China would know we know, and then you'd be off to the races. This, to me, is a serious issue. And again, it could be they're just going to fire people. I'm not ruling that out. But what I am telling you is this is not standard operating procedure. This is not business as usual. This is something big is going down, and we need the top leaders in the military rushed back to the United States and taken to a secure location. Again, could they be firing people? Sure, but why bring back everybody? Why not just bring back the people you're going to fire? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, right? Not very efficient, not very logical. Now, if you're about to launch a massive military campaign, or you have credible information about an imminent threat that would be a game changer that could spark a wider war somewhere, that would justify bringing everybody back. That would make sense. I don't want to scare anyone. I do not know what is going on. Nobody knows what's going on, but this is unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this before. And it requires us to ask some tough questions of what the hell is going on. Why is Hegseth rushing back our top military leaders without telling them what is going on? Why is the information being so tightly guarded? It is a fascinating question. And I can tell you nobody has an answer. And it has me very concerned. I'm sure it has many of you very concerned. We could be on the brink of something we did not see coming. And I hope and pray there's nothing too serious, nothing that is going to alter day-to-day activities in America. But man, oh man, something big is brewing. And I cannot wait to find out what it is. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think is going on? Why do you think Hegseth has recalled everyone? Why do you think this is happening the way it is instead of over virtual secure communications channels? Let me know in the comments below. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge, 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 huge boost to the channel. Hit that notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. You have the best information on YouTube. And then Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D Hookstead. That's where you can find me on social media. DMs are open. Send me any information you got. I'll see you all next time.